Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Pick up your logo merchandise by heading over to abvnetwork.com, clicking on Shop, and start filling your basket today. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for something for yourself, a customized gift, or logoed items for your business gift shop, the Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. That's the number 2 in the Bar to Go. Don't forget our friends at Neely Family Distillery now ship their unique distilled spirits directly to you. To order yours, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we complete a bracket challenge to determine the coolest thing about Maker's Mark. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guest, Elba Garan.
No, keep going. You're doing fine.
Cumberland on
You're doing good. You're doing good.
Doing great. Lenny Eckstein and Heidi Eller.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Now you fucked all that up.
How's it going?
Could we just say Elba's the coolest thing and just end this show right now? Just say goodbye. Tell where people can find us. Yeah,
perfect. The shortest one ever.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that could be it. Now we're going to do a bracket challenge today. It's all the cool stuff that Maker's Mark has. They have some of the coolest, most iconic things in the world of bourbon, and we're going to put them all up against each other, pit them against one another, and see what comes out on top. Before we get to all that, though, of course, we like to just chit chat a little bit. And Heidi says there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Heidi?
All right. So, in the world of retail, okay. I know that most of us, and I know Steve, you've done this. I've done it where we've stood in line because there's a special release or there's a lottery and we want to get, a number and have an opportunity to get said product. So I'm in retail now where alcohol is not in play at all. We do not cater to anybody over the age of 21, really.
Okay.
But today we did a release and my district manager called me yesterday and said, can you get extra staff in? I think there's going to be a line tomorrow. And I said, seriously? Like you really, okay. So I wound up going in this morning and we didn't open until 11, but at 10 o'clock, we started having the line form in front of the building. And it wasn't alcohol related. So I was really perplexed on this and was really going, seriously, people are actually lining up for this. Have you ever stood in line or know somebody that stood in line to get something that was not alcohol related?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And
Go
what
ahead.
was it?
Elba, yes.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah, go for
Sure.
it.
Yeah, go ahead, Elba.
God, the Target line during Black Friday.
Yeah, I forgot about all that
because
stuff. Yeah.
the kid toys section was just off the chart, like hot items. I forget what it was, but yes, Black Friday, Target line. It's real. Dunkin' Donuts coffee in hand. I'll never do it again, but worth it. At least for the smiles.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a classic one too. And my dad, of course, this is back when my daughter was born. So she was born in February of 97. So her first Christmas of 97, I guess they came out with the Sing and Snore Ernie, which was supposed to be the hot thing. And so my dad goes and stands in line because he wants to be super grandfather. But, she's only like 10 months old. So it comes Christmas and he's like, I don't think she even likes it. I'm like, I don't even know if she knows what's going on. He's like, I stood in line. I'm like, well, she's like 10 months old. They only have, it was even something they really like. They don't really have a whole lot of interest in things. They move on quickly. So yes, that was a big one that I remember, because it was such a big, he was first time grandfather, and he wanted to make sure if other grandfathers were getting this for their grandkids, he was going to make sure he got one. So he's not a guy who liked to stand in line and stuff like that. And he did. It was amazing to me because, again, this is my same father that I grew up with. And he would, if it would come down to standing in line for something for me, I don't think that would have ever happened, but it's different. And this is my first exposure to it's totally different for grandkids. So yes. Yeah.
All right, Lenny. So you have kids.
Yeah. I haven't stood in line for a long time, and I was thinking about it, and Steve, I was kind of laughing, thinking about, like in my town in Buena Vista, it gets pretty busy in the summer. And I don't know, I'm not like to big league anyone, but I'm not standing in line. And if I take, if there's a line for food, I'd rather not eat. And there's a really good ice cream shop in town called Louis. Right. And my kid Arlo always wants to go there. So I took him there once, and there was a line. We were like about 8 people deep, and I stood there for about 5 minutes, and then I let him know this isn't going to continue. We're leaving. And he melted down, but we left.
You left? You didn't stay?
No.
8 whole people in front of you. I could see why you'd have to get out of
Did you send him back with your wife?
No, I took him to the grocery store. I think I paid him $5 to be quiet. Went to the grocery store and got ice cream there.
Okay.
I've got an interview coming up where I'm going to interview the Eckstein family, and the sticking point right now is Arlo wants to know how much he gets paid for this.
Yeah,
he's like 6 years
old.
Where
he got that from.
Yeah, the sticking point right now is I haven't set a figure big enough for him to come on the show. So he's the holdup. So Lenny's good, Amy's good, his wife, but Arlo, he's a holdout. He's a holdout until we get the compensation settled.
Once Beka answers, Lenny, I got you. I'll just send you what he wants, and that will get him on the show.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right, Beka. What do you got?
I, for one, have never stood in line waiting for alcohol. You
lived in North Dakota. That being said, you lived in North Dakota.
I also wouldn't do it anyways.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. I think you would.
No.
Have you ever stood in line for anything else, like a Christmas deal or
how? Okay, you pull up to a restaurant. How long are you willing to wait? Ma'am, it's a 10-minute wait. Would you stay for that?
10 minutes I'll wait.
Ma'am, it's a 20-minute.
There needs to be a bar.
It's a 20-minute wait.
If I can stand at the bar and it's a long wait, then I'll do it. But if I can't sit at a bar top, if it's over 30 minutes for a wait, I am not staying there. Unless
there's a bar
that I can actually go up to and get a drink, which COVID made things kind of difficult for that stuff. But if there's a bar, I'll sit and wait because I'll just get cocktails for I'll get cocktails for 2 hours. I don't really care. Eventually I'll eat. But that's the only time that I will wait at a restaurant for food. Otherwise I won't do it. I don't wait in line.
Don't you find that different though? Like that's way less insulting than an actual line where you're looking down the line, like popping your head out sideways to figure out what's going on. It's like being in traffic, but you can't stop traffic.
I'd say I don't. And I also, God, I fucking hate traffic too. I hate sitting in traffic.
It's a more insulting form of line.
Yeah, because you can't have a drink. You're just sitting in line, like in traffic, and you're just sitting there. And it's stop and go. So you can't just like pull out like stuff on your phone to watch because you have to be paying attention to make sure that you're not holding up the stop and go traffic that's getting you absolutely fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Try riding a motorcycle through Yellowstone.
On the brake, you can put it in park, but then you have to keep on going in and out of park. I mean, that just pisses me off too. I don't like waiting in line. I don't want to wait in line. There is nothing that I want to wait in line for, alcohol included. Guess what? If there's something that I really want to try, I'll just ask Steve Akeley.
he waited in line.
Because I know that he waited in line, and so I'll just wait till he shows up.
Yeah, there you go. That's a solid plan.
So today was, and I don't know if anybody has heard of this. So today was the big release of Smushmallows.
No, what is that?
Anybody know what a Smushmallow is? So a Smushmallow is like this small, like little stuffed animal, and they're kind of round, and there's all different kind of characters. There's like You have the Disney ones. You have like the big ones that everybody was looking for today.
I think my kid invented that word, by the way. Back when she was a kid, she used to
marshmallow.
Lucky Charms. She only liked the smussos out of them, and I would be like, "What do you like? You don't like the cereal part? You like the what?" Dad, I only like the smussos.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'd ask 2 days later, "What's that thing you like in the Lucky Charms again?" Smussos. And yeah. Tell
There
Grandma
you go.
what you like. Yeah,
Marshmallows.
She made that up. I think she made that word up for him.
So and I know I've talked to Steve about this also. Has everybody heard about slime liquors?
Sure.
Slime liquors?
You're bringing up a lot of things that none of us have ever heard of.
I know. And I didn't know about this until I started working where I'm working. So slime liquors, think about back in like the 80s, early 90s, like you remember the lip balm or the lipstick that was like the roller? It had the roller on it.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, I got it.
Lip smackers.
Yeah.
Lip smackers.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So imagine
Candy in one of those things.
Liquid candy, but it's sour. It's a sour candy. So somebody did a YouTube and a TikTok about this, and it went crazy viral. And then everybody started buying them up. So
Lenny just Googled it.
Yeah, we sold them for like $2. And
get Lenny some of those, because none of us have kids of that age to be interested, other than Lenny, and he's not involved enough to know this kind of stuff. So help him out by sending him stuff.
I had 30 people in line outside of my store this morning
to buy
Squishmallows and slime liquors, because they just came out with not a regular slime liquor, but a mega slime liquor.
And people were actually in line for this.
Yes. And there's limited quantities that you can buy per person. So it's limit 4, limit 2, limit 4.
We're on allocation.
Yeah, it's allocated.
Wow.
And I was like, when I left Total Wine, I was like, okay, I'll never have to worry about any allocations again. Oh, I do. I do. And it's ridiculous because it's a stuffed animal and a candy.
It's depressing, really.
And people are in line for it. I hate like I said, I hate waiting in line. I don't want to wait in line for anything. Like I cannot, like nothing comes to mind that I'm like, I would wait in line for that. Like even when it comes to, so like there's always lines when you go to Universal Studios, right? Like Disney and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with their lines. Maybe liquor stores should do this. That's not actually an option. But like when you wait in line at Universal Studios, it's an interactive type of waiting in line. When you go to Harry Potter World at Universal Studios, you're not just standing looking at like white walls. Like you're like walking through the bank in Harry Potter, and they've got like little fake elves that are talking to you, like looking up, and it's interactive. The only lines I didn't, well, Eddie and I actually spent an extra like $350 on our fucking tickets to get the fast passes so that you didn't have to wait in any lines, because it sucks. It's the worst. And so guess what? Yeah, suckers like me who don't like to wait in line, we're going to spend extra fucking money to not wait in line because it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what liquor stores should do.
But at least it was
fast
at least
pass.
like for Universal
Liquor Barn
like that,
fast path. Yeah.
it's interactive at least. So you have a little bit more of a fun time when you're standing there waiting forever with all these other people. It just reminds me of sheep whenever you're waiting in line.
I could just imagine the liquor store fast pass having like little like stations where they just feed you alcohol. Like
if that's how waiting in the line was, where they're like, oh, we actually have all these different things that you should taste today. Absolutely, I'll stand in line.
Here's the rum stop. Here's the tequila stop.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, you're at Wine World now. Here's the wine stop.
Yeah, do that, because guess what? We're gonna buy more things if we're tasting more things.
Well, and I feel like people that were waiting in line for lotteries and stuff, they had their coolers with them. They were already enjoying themselves. I mean, like, what do you, like, I tried to go out, like, these were adults that were standing in line. There was like 2 kids. These are all adults. And so I go out and I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? Oh, you guys here for the bourbon lottery? I tried to make a joke. And like 3 people were like, you got bourbon in there? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Now, this being said, now Beka does, own a distillery. Her and her husband have Neely Family Distillery. I think the goal at some point is to get to be so popular where maybe lines begin to form outside. I could see Beka yelling at her potential customers, "You're sheep! You're sheep! Wouldn't buy this."
No, Steve, that makes me the dough.
Be quiet.
She'd be out there with like a tray.
No, I would be out there. Yeah, I would go out there and offer them some samples to keep them happy.
There you go. Well, guess what? No more waiting for this. It's time to drink on the Bourbon Daily.
Oh.
What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Heidi, who asked the question today. Heidi, what do you got?
Hold on, I'm chewing. All right, so
that was awkward. Okay.
I know it was. So I got Wilderness Trail.
Okay, pretty full. So we're expecting good things.
Just a regular.
Oh, that was good. Very sloshy. The slosh could work against you, but the pop was incredible. So, Elba, you're next. What do you got?
Oh, I'm next. Hold on. Oh, you can't even hear that. I got a screw top. And I decided to pour myself a little cocktail. Sipping on the Maker's 101 in ginger ale just to kind of ease into the night. But I'm going to pour myself a little glug.
Okay.
Maybe kind of. It's raining and kind of just coming down here, so you might hear that.
Okay. All right, Lenny, you are next. What do you got?
Well, riding Heidi's coattails and hopefully trampling on them with a more voluminous cork bottle. I also have Wilderness Trail.
Okay. No, not enough. Okay.
Ooh.
I've got Deer Hammer Rye here, so let's see what happens with this. This bottle's pretty well loved though, so it's more than halfway gone. Here we go. Decent, not as good as Heidi. So, Beka, it comes down to you. It's you against Heidi. What do you got?
So tonight, we haven't really busted into our palette of alcohol we have out in the garage. And so I wandered around the house and I found all of our random bottles that are just strewn throughout the house.
Yes.
So I'm just be doing random Neely, different house pours. One of them, this was in Royce's gun bag. It's a bottle of the Robinsons, named affectionately after the Robinsons. I don't know the last time this was opened.
Ooh, very good as well. But I don't think it was as good as Heidi's. I think Heidi got it. So Heidi had a good solid pop. So Heidi got it. So cheers, gang.
Cheers.
All right. What we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, it is going to be Bourbon Bracket Challenge time, where we find out what the coolest thing about Maker's Mark is. We'll do that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and let's talk for a moment about our sponsors, the people that make this show happen. First up is our friends at Moonshine University. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at their office in Louisville. The information I learned through lead instructor Colin Blake and their team there is something that I continue to draw upon frequently in my role at the ABV Network. It truly is the standard of establishing a benchmark of knowledge of the bourbon industry. From history to production to brands and people, it's all there. Check out their full listing of programs, including Executive Bourbon Steward certification, production classes if you're considering starting a distillery, and much more at moonshineuniversity.com. I also want to talk about Neely Family Distillery. Back in May of 2018, I met Royce Neely at Limestone Branch's Craft Bourbon Festival. It ended up not only being the start of a great friendship, I started to truly learn about what makes craft whiskey so amazing. You see, I had been a bourbon drinker for over 30 years at that point, and like many people who had been drinking bourbon a long time, I was hard-coded into thinking big bourbon was where it was at and craft was on a journey to get there. Spending time with Royce and learning the things he does to make his whiskey taste better started to really get me to appreciate how things like sweet mashing, open top fermentation, pot distillation, and the grains you are using not only makes your product taste better coming off the still, but also out of the barrel as well. I still love heritage brands and they make up a bulk of my collection. But when you find a craft distiller that is truly dedicated to the craft of distilling, you are drinking some of the best whiskey out there on the market today. That's exactly what's happening at Neely Family Distillery today. Check them out on the web at neelyfamilydistillery.com, or better yet, stop by and see them at their distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And now, back to the show.
Hey, this is Paul Russo, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're doing a bracket challenge to find out the coolest thing about Maker's Mark.
Yes, we are. So again, there's a lot of iconic things associated with Maker's Mark. Is our list of contenders: the dripping red wax, the bright red color, the bottle shape, the grounds at the distillery, the Chihuly art at the distillery, the ragged label, their own unique font, or finally that SIV logo. Our matchups are going to look like this. So that's the 8 that are the contenders. The ragged label will be taking on the bright red color. Then the SIV logo will be taking on the bottle shape. And then we got the dripping wax taking on the grounds. And then finally, the Chihuly art at the distillery will be taking on that unique Maker's Mark font. Round number 1, Elba, you're going to be first. The ragged label or that bright red color? What do you think is cooler?
I am a sucker for bright red. If I can wear a bright red lipstick or if it's that bright red wax, I'm going to go for the bright red on that bottle of Maker's.
Okay, bright red. She goes with the bright red color. Goes up 1-0. Lenny, what do you think? The bright red color, certainly iconic. The ragged label, they had that look before. It's kind of a cool thing. It always looks like each one's hand torn out or something like that. So very unique and it original to the brand. So many of these things are original to the brand. So Margie Samuels comes up with all this stuff and they just stick with it because it works. And I think it's a smart thing. Don't change what's not broke. And sometimes that can be hard for companies to do along the way. They want to always, fix things or make things better, but they've stuck with this stuff. And I think it's a good idea. Yeah. What do you think's cooler, Lenny?
Yeah. Well, I agree with everything you just said. And I do like a lot of aspects of the brand and the I guess the image of the brand. I like the ragged label. I would never ever wear red in any world, but I would. I like how bold the red is on that bottle.
So you're going to go with the red.
That's right.
Red goes up 2-zip. Quickly up 2-zip. Heidi, what do you think? The ragged label or the bright red color?
Whereas I do agree with Lenny on the whole red, because red on redheads does not look good at all.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even wear red lipstick. Like, it just doesn't look right. But I love the color red and I love the red on the bottle, but I also like the ragged label. I like that look. I like that it's kind of, distressed and everything.
Imperfect. Yeah, it's imperfect.
I have to go with the label.
The label has a vote here, so it has life. Beka, what do you think? That ragged label or that bright red color?
This one's an easy thing for me because I just feel like it's the most iconic thing for Maker's Mark, and it's that bright red. I mean, the label's cool and all, but if you showed people a lineup of a bunch of labels that didn't have anything wrote on them and just were the shape of the labels, would people be able to pick that out? Not really. But if you showed people a bottle that didn't have anything wrote on it and it just had what the bottles look like without labels on them, the second they see that red, they're going to go, that's Maker's Mark. They know. I mean, that's super cool and it's iconic for Maker's Mark. So that red.
Okay. The red will move on. Now, there are a lot of iconic things like that Beka said that you could instantly recognize as Maker's Mark. This was so cool. So that SIV logo, again, there's almost a lot to that too. It's broken up in places and stuff. There's probably, you could do a whole class on that particular logo. And then the bottle shape. You talk about iconic. Again, shows use this all the time. If you watch the Food Network, they probably have a Maker's Mark model on every other show that's on that network. And again, they'll be like, oh, put bourbon in that. And they don't have any paid endorsement or anything. So they take the label off that says it's Maker's Mark. And they're like, that's bourbon. Well, instantly it's Maker's Mark just because of it. So what do you think is cooler here, the logo or the bottle shape? Round 2. Lenny, you're first.
The SIV logo, that's what you're referring to?
Yes, the SIV logo or the bottle shape. Literally just the shape of the bottle.
It's the coolest thing, not the most iconic thing.
Yeah. We like cool because, again, that's a little bit less defined. We don't want to just look at this and be like, well, that automatically wins because it's iconic or whatever. So cool takes it a little bit more personal. So sometimes I might think something's cool that you don't. So that's why we always go with coolest.
I'm kind of split on that one. I'm going to go with the SIV logo just because I like acronyms sometimes.
Okay. All right. Heidi, you're next. SIV logo or bottle shape?
Yeah, I'm going to go opposite. I think I could recognize that bottle anywhere. So I'm going to go with the bottle.
All right, Miss Beka Sue. Bottle shape or SIV logo?
I would just like to mention that the bottle shape does kind of look like a paintbrush. Like it's not, I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying.
I've never thought of
Tell
that.
me, is that a paintbrush or is it Maker's Mark? What is it?
I don't. You never know. A lot of times I'll be painting a
Paintbrush
room
with a
and I'll grab a
camera.
Maker's bottle, and now I know why I'm doing it. I had no idea before, but that's what's going on there. It's too close. That's a problem.
Not mad at it.
It happens often.
It does.
I'd say that I'm going to go bottle shape on this
Bottle
one.
shape.
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I got to go that bottle shape too. It's just on everything. I mean, it's been in a million TV shows, movies, all that kind of stuff. It's just really cool, the fact that you always know what it is when you see it. So that's what I'm going, bottle shape. All right. Ooh, this one, we put two heavy hitters by chance. Again, this is all drawn at random, but two heavy hitters here are against one another. The dripping wax. Boy, that is cool. It is iconic. And the grounds. I mean, you talk about, that's one of the draws to go into Maker's Mark. So
How can you even put them together?
It's rude. That's rude for a first round, isn't it?
That could be the finale, but no, it's first round. So one of these is not going to make it out of the first round. So Heidi, you are going to be first this round. What do you think?
I hate you right
the
now.
dripping wax or the grounds?
I hate you.
What? This is all done at random before the show.
Well, no, because
It's like asking you to pick your favorite child. Like, this is awful.
the wax is like, it's a statement. It's theirs. It's, one of the icons of their brand. And then the grounds are amazing. It's one of the best distillery grounds I've been to, as far as like walking around and seeing different things in the buildings.
Oh,
and
yeah. How many times have you heard people will ask, whether it's online or talk within friends, what distillers do they need to go in there? Somebody will always say Maker's Mark. You got to see the grounds there. That's beautiful. The grounds are beautiful. You hear that every time.
Like, go see the grounds.
Yeah, they're both amazing.
God, I hate you right now. So I love the grounds. It's beautiful, and I love all the cobblestone and the walkways and everything are just fantastic. But I think
So you're
the
voting for that.
wax.
Oh,
The wax is what makes it. So I have to go with the wax.
the wax. That means the wax goes up 1-0. Miss Beka Sue, what do you think? The wax or the grounds?
I haven't actually been to Maker's Mark.
No, you're going to be soon in about 2 weeks.
I'll be going. It's in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. I'll be there with you, Steve,
Yes, I'll be there.
and the warden.
The warden's going.
I need to talk to you guys offline.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
excited. This will be my first time going to Maker's Mark, so I'm actually really pumped about it because of the grounds.
What about the wax? Are you excited to see that? You'll see wax there too, by the way. You'll see it, bottles getting dipped. There's wax involved.
Yeah, when you say it like that too, like, what are you excited about? Like, I'm not excited to see wax, but I'm so excited to see the grounds because I know it's beautiful. And like, I've seen a lot of pictures, but I've never got to experience it for myself. But that being said, I'm excited to see the grounds, not the wax. I'm excited to hopefully like dip a bottle myself and wax one. I think that
You get to do that. That's part of the experience.
But when I think about like what's cooler, like I just think that the brand recognition is what's cool about Maker's Mark. And so a lot of people don't necessarily know the grounds are cool. So I'm going to go with the wax on this one.
The wax. That means the wax goes up 2-0 over the grounds, and I am next. Oof. This is tough.
No pressure.
And boy,
No pressure.
Wax. What's that?
I said no pressure.
No pressure. I want to go the wax, but then I'm thinking, boy, the grounds didn't even get a chance. Should I give the grounds a chance here? Boy, that wax is so cool and iconic. And you know what? If I want to meet someone from Maker's Mark, I could just come out with a product, dip it in wax, let it drip down, and I'll hear from them pretty darn quickly. I get to meet someone from Maker's Mark. I was just a lawyer, of course, but yes. So I, despite that, because I do love the grounds, it's beautiful. And Jason Nally was a friend. Now I know he's moved on just recently, but to have a kind of a curator of the grounds, it's so cool. I think that's a really cool thing. So I'm going to give the grounds a chance here. They've got a fighting chance in this game. They're down 2-1, but they're in the game. So Elba, that pressure I just felt, now it gets past you. You can end this for Wax by voting for it, or you can give grounds a chance at moving on if you vote for that. So it's up to you.
So, my goodness, both of them equally just, I've got to give Margie Samuels that credit. Okay. So I work for the brand. I drink the Kool-Aid directly from the stills. My entire backdrop right now, if you could see what's on the other side of this computer, it's all Maker's Mark red wax strip.
Oh, yeah.
So to know that she was a part of every single one of those details, and I know this is going to be just a few seconds longer, but to know that Margie Samuels was, so driven about this red wax. It's what inspired her was her French cognac collection, and sealing that bottle of Maker's Mark in that red wax strip was something that Bill fought her on. And of course, the compromise was this little tape around the bottle that helps you open up, the bottle of Maker's Mark, because otherwise you'd be taking a knife and trying to whatever you do to champagne bottles. I can't think of the name right now.
Saber.
And then saber. Yes, you can't even saber a bottle of Maker's Mark. And then just knowing that her vision was to create this place that you can welcome anybody at any point of that tour. Just the landscape, the detail was driven by her. I mean, it's hard to just decide between the red wax or the grounds themselves, but I'm going to give it to the red wax.
Red wax.
It's so iconic. You can point it out anywhere, but it's a tie for me between the grounds and knowing it's just a place that you can go to, and it leaves such an imprint, whether you work for the brand, you just visit the distillery. That red wax is going to carry through for the rest of your bourbon journey. So red wax it is for me.
Red wax then has the 3 votes it needs. It moves on. All right. The next one is Beka, who's stepped away apparently. So we'll stall a little bit here. It's the Chihuly art at the distillery, which it's in a few different places. They have installations temporary ones where they put it all over, but most notably in the warehouse right before you go onto the tour in the ceiling. So the Chihuly art or the unique font. They have a Maker's Mark font. Which is unique to them. Again, Margie Samuels on that font. So, what do you think here, Beka?
I mean, isn't that's art? It's all glass, isn't it? The art is.
Yes, yeah.
I have to go with that. My mom is literally a glass maker.
True.
Like I can't not go.
Your mom would ground you if you didn't go.
She would kill me. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
like that is I like when I've seen pictures of it too, it just like makes me excited.
Oh, you'll be blown away when you see it live.
Yeah, it's super cool just because I know a lot of the background of all that stuff since my mom does it.
Yeah.
And so it's especially cool to
There's
me,
a couple hidden angels in there too. You got to find that.
It's
sure.
I know that it's something that my mom would really love to see because a lot of people when they think about bourbon, it's well, I don't really drink. I don't know if I want to do that, but I think that the fact that they have something like that is something that people outside of bourbon would actually love to go and see. It helps bring in non-bourbon drinkers to distilleries because it's something different. So I think that's super cool.
There you go. So Chihuly art goes up 1-0 over the unique font. This is tough. These are both really cool, but to me, they feel like secondary to some of the other ones. Unique font. I think I got to go with the Chihuly art too. I mean, a font is cool, but it is just ultimately at the end of the day, it's a font. So that can't be cooler than handmade art by one of the most iconic people in the world of glass art. I got to go with the Chihuly here. So Chihuly immediately goes up 2-0. What do you think, Elba? You're next.
Oh, I mean, First of all, Chihuly in itself, and just from the stories that I've heard at the distillery, it took so much passion of what we do at the distillery, but yet so little convincing to have Chihuly partner with the distillery and not only feature his artwork, but the specific piece that he commissioned. So, I mean, part of what I do on a day-to-day when I get to go to the distillery is to share with our customers all of what the beauty is on the grounds themselves, but just to see the ribbons of red, the colors of the ambers and the yellows that depict the corn, just the inspiration of what really drove Chihuly to create this specific piece that sits in one of our it's our tasting room, rick house, gift shop, like hallway. It kind of has like everything around it. I'm going to give it to Chihuly. I mean, I'm fascinated by the glass blown pieces that he's done throughout his lifetime, and to see that relationship and that partnership come to life. Yeah, I'm going to give it to Chihuly.
Okay. That means Chihuly moves on. Our final four looks like this. The bright red color, the bottle shape will be taking on one another. Then we've got the dripping wax taking on the Chihuly art. So round number 5, I'm going to be first. The bright red color or the bottle shape. What do I think is cooler? And I'm going to stick with kind of the one I talked about more out of the two here. And to me, it's the bottle shape. It's just, it's a cool bottle shape. Some say it looks like a paintbrush. I've never seen that until today, but I can't say that statement is wrong, but I think the bottle shape is just iconic. I don't know, develop, if you said, Steve, develop an iconic bottle shape, I don't know what I'd come up with. I don't really know of any other, that is iconic. There's some very notable ones like the Willet pot still. Is that iconic? No, it's not iconic. It's probably pretty cool, but to me, this thing transcends bourbon even. It's really neat. So I'm going to go with the bottle shape. So Elba, you're next. The bright red color or the bottle shape?
Ooh, so much history to share. I mean, I just love that bright red color. I'm a sucker for a bright red lip. So bright red wax. Just the details on that bottle shape. Yep, that bright red color is going to be the winner for me.
Okay. That means we're tied up here. 1-1, bright red color and the bottle shape. Lenny, you're next. Bright red color or the bottle shape? What do you think's cooler?
I don't think there is a more recognizable brand on the shelf. I mean, Jack Daniels would be second, but in a dimly lit bar, I wouldn't even be able to pick out Jack Daniels. But without the red wax on the Maker's Mark bottle, I don't think I'd be able to pick it out. So I'm going to go with the red wax. The red wax. All right. It's really the bright red color. Was it? Oh, God damn it. Bright red color. Bright red, I meant. Specific. Yeah. My bad. You're going the bright red. Okay. Yeah, it did sound like he was on to what we're going to go. Lenny's doing a different show. That's usually Heidi's role, to do a different show than we do.
Good job, Lenny.
All right, the bright red color goes up 2-1 over the bottle shape. Heidi, you are actually next. What do you think? The bright red color or the bottle shape? What do you think is cooler?
So we can go ahead and close this out with the bright red.
Bright red. Okay.
Is it bright red without the wax though?
It's the same thing, but two different things.
Yeah, I mean they use the color too in the ads and that because it's the Maker's Mark color. So yeah, you'll see it where it plays out into things that they do. A lot of the shirts in that are red because of the red wax and that. So yeah, it plays into everything that they do. All right, you're right. Yeah. Okay, next up is the dripping wax or the Chihuly art. Round number 6. Elba, you're going to be first on this one. What do you think is cooler, the dripping wax or the Chihuly art? This is a tough one.
How do you make me choose?
Oh yeah.
I'm having a sip of bourbon before I decide.
Maker's Mark, by the way.
It is Maker's 101.
Today's show is brought to you by Maker's Mark, by the way. I'm contractually obligated to say, no, it's not. They don't have nothing to do with this. That'd be cool if they did. They'd be like, Steve, do the show and we'll give you $5,000. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, my schedule's oddly open to do that show. Yeah, no, nothing like that.
I mean, we'll talk about it offline, but I will say that dripping wax is through and through what has defined Makers. not just the whiskey itself, because the running joke at the distillery is you buy your first bottle because of that red wax. You buy your second because of that liquid inside, thanks to Bill. So for me, it's that red wax.
Right.
That dripping wax. Yep.
Yeah. So Elba, again, the audience can't see this. It's a podcast, but if you take the bottles, or behind her, the background is all Maker's Mark bottles with dripping red wax on. Delete the bottles off of there and just leave the wax. And I guarantee I could show that poster to people and just randomly on the street and say, what is this? And I think a large percentage of them would say that's Maker's Mark, just based on the wax. So dripping wax goes up 1-0. Lenny, you're next. What do you think? The dripping wax or the Chihuly art? What's cooler?
Well, so other people can have Chihuly art if they have enough money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But no one else can have red dripping wax without a massive lawsuit, which I agree with. I would think that's me.
You can have it for just a very short time.
Yes. I'm sure some brands have it.
So a couple of weeks probably.
With regards to brand, the dripping wax takes it.
Dripping wax. Okay, dripping wax goes up 2-0. Heidi, what do you think? Dripping wax or the Chihuly art?
As much as I love the art, and don't make me say it because I butcher it every single time.
No, I want to hear you say it. Yeah.
Just call him Dale.
Don't make me do it.
No, let's hear it.
Chihuly. I have to think about it. I have to think about it.
That's close enough.
I'm gonna go with the wax.
All right. That means the dripping wax will move on. Our finale, kind of in Lenny's mind, it's the same thing. So we got the bright red color or the dripping wax. Lenny's just like swing a dead cat and whatever it lands on, I vote for. I don't care. It's the exact same thing. Okay, so the bright red color or the dripping wax, what do you think is cooler? Lenny, you're actually going to be first by chance.
So let me just wax a little bit about something else since I can't really make it. Did you guys know that Dale Chihuly, the guy only has one eye.
He has an eye patch that he wears.
Yeah. He I think he went through the windshield of a car and lost his eye that way.
Is that how he lost? I don't know how he lost.
Yeah, and as such, my understanding is he stopped. Actually, I think he does not actually blow glass anymore. He points to other people and tells them what to do.
Yeah, I think
I like a lot. I love the idea of pointing and telling people what to do.
Right.
Doesn't happen often, but it's fun.
Like that installation. That is, Elba, do you have any idea how many pieces that is just in that warehouse? I'm sure that's part of a trivia question somewhere. I don't know if you know the answer though, but I'll put you on the spot. Do you know?
So if my career doesn't depend on it, I would say it's just about 1,200 pieces or so.
Wow.
It's between 1,100 and 1,300, somewhere in between.
It's a lot.
It's individual. It's
individual. It's kind of piled up. You're looking through a glass ceiling to see it.
It's awesome.
It's cool.
Yes, and it was vacuum sealed to pressure place everything. I mean, it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
I have more pictures of the art and the grounds than I do of the actual rest of the tour.
Okay.
Yeah. One more thing before I answer the question. I don't know if you guys saw the photo I sent through, but that was my kid licking dew off plants at Maker's Mark on the grounds because he's never seen dew in his life before.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No dew out here.
So, and it's okay because it's the first time you saw it. I guess is what you're saying. I don't know.
Also, I don't care. Okay. Red wax though.
Red wax. Okay. All right. The red wax goes up 1-0. Heidi, you're next. The bright red color or the red wax?
The red wax.
Yeah. So dripping wax goes up 2-0.
No. You said.
Well, I messed up.
Red color or the red wax, and I said red.
It is the red wax, but it is dripping is the key.
Dripping wax or red wax?
Yeah, it is still red.
But
I don't want to be clear.
Red wax or the red color.
Bright red the color or the dripping wax.
All right, dripping wax.
Dripping wax.
It's the same thing.
I think it goes up 2-0. I'm not exactly sure though. I've lost it a little bit on the show. We haven't done shows in a while though. To my credit, it's been like a month. So Miss Beka Sue, what do you think? The bright red color or the dripping wax? Which is also red, but don't get confused by that. It's two different things.
We've sipped a little bourbon.
Some say it's the same thing, but it's not. It's two different things. Though they only they do it more than red though. So special things,
So dripping wax, red color. It's red color for me.
The red color. Okay. The red color has life. So here's where we're at. My vote is next. I feel like I have the deciding vote here no matter what, because I feel like if I vote for dripping wax, then it ends, but it has 3 votes. I feel like if I vote for bright red color, we know Elba loves the color red and will automatically vote for that. So I feel like I have the key vote here no matter what. I control what wins. And what do I think is cooler, the bright red color or that dripping wax? And I got to go the dripping wax. I think the dripping wax is cooler. And again, it's not necessarily always red. They do change it up, right, Elba? There are times where, it might be like Kentucky wins the basketball championship. They'll come out with a special blue that's Kentucky.
It is certain charity partnerships that we have. Just some of the greatest partnerships that I have seen come to life is, of course, with Keeneland. Keeneland being one of our first customers back in 1958-ish or so, but yeah, you do see that dripping wax in different colors. So I'll say that much. The dripping wax.
So that means
the mint julep bottle.
The mint julep bottle. Yeah. So dripping wax is it. It's the coolest thing about Maker's Mark. At least that's what we say. So you tell us what you think, but that's officially in the books now as the coolest thing about Maker's Mark. So there you go. Congratulations to the Maker's Mark team for inspiring this.
You can thank Margie Samuels for that.
Margie Samuels for, basically almost everything. Chihuly art, obviously not, but for the most part, pretty much everything else. And again, she even had inspiration on that because Chihuly, inspired by the things of Maker's Mark to make that art, in a way, she even had a say in that too. So that's cool. All right, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Elba, we're starting with you. Where can people find you?
All right. Find me on Instagram at Bourbon JLo. Jersey Market inspired, but here we go.
I love it. That is maybe one of the best Instagram names out there. So yeah, congratulations. We have so many people that have terrible Instagram names, but that's one of the great ones right there. So there you go. Lenny, how about you? Where can people find you?
You can find myself and Deer Hammer Distillery on social media, Facebook, Instagram, sometimes Twitter, at Deer Hammer, on the web at deerhammer.com. You can also order Deer Hammer at deerhammer.com, and you can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado.
Yes. I know a lot of our audience has been ordering stuff from you, so that's cool. It's been nice to see some people ordering things, and that, it's cool. They're behind the brand and support you. Very nice. Yeah. Heidi, how about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Heller_Barrel Babe, or find me on Facebook at Heller or Heidi Eller Topol.
Yeah, this is an example of a bad name when you don't even know it yourself. That's when it's not as good. And Heidi uses what do we? Heidi.
There's 17 different names.
Yeah, you leave one of the ex-husbands out because you didn't like them, but other than that, you still acknowledge all ex-husbands in your official last name, other than the one that apparently was the bad one. All right, Miss Beka says no. Fosnat's the current one. You're current.
I know. One. And if somebody could just come over and figure out how to get on Facebook and change it, it'd be great.
That'd be great. Okay. All right. Miss Beka Sue, how about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's. You can also find me at Neely Family Distillery, picking out all the single barrels.
All right. For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps when people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's chat for a moment about Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you just want to experiment on a small scale on the stove in your kitchen or try your hand at a bigger setup in the backyard, Moonshine Still Pro can help. They have different still offerings as well as accessories and even grains from Goldstone Mill to help you make whiskey on par with what you get from your favorite distillery. They can even assist with a DIY still project by supplying some of the parts you can't make yourself. Check them out at moonshinestillpro.com. At the ABV Network, we're lucky enough to have some great friends. Amongst those friends is the Goldstein family, owners of Goldstone Mill. Goldstone Mill is a full-service mill offering a variety of heritage and heirloom grains. Their unique approach of working with mills around the country allows them to offer you affordable shipping opportunities to meet the unique needs of your distillery or brewery. They will consult with you to ensure the grains you are selecting meets the unique flavor profiles you are looking for. If you are a home brewer or distiller and you're looking for the grains that your local distillery or brewery uses, Goldstone Mill is the place to look. Check them out on the web at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or shoot them an email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.